Hello and welcome all lovers of indie games. Today we'll be talking about the newly released game, The Forest Cathedral, a first-person environmental thriller set on a remote island. Playing as scientist Rachel Carson, players will slowly uncover the effects of DDT, a new pesticide being trialled on the island. I just wanted to say a huge thank you to Whitethorn Games for providing me with a copy of The Forest Cathedral. It really does mean a lot to me and I hope you enjoyed the review. And as always, let's jump straight into the review as we'll be talking about the story, gameplay, graphics, and what I thought about the game. These will be segmented below, so you can jump along to check them out. Let me know what you think about the strange adventure in the comments. Enjoy! The Forest Cathedral is based around the book published in 1962 named Silent Spring, and tells the tale I'm about to explain. The game starts with us, Rachel Carson, applying for a job as a field biologist on Science Island, a remote island where I'll be testing a new product named dichlorodifuel-omethylene, or DDT for short. I fully believe I messed that up, but we're going to roll with it anyway. We're just going to call it DDT. This pesticide is meant to kill mosquitoes without any damage to the life or environment around them. We're given the job and move on out to Science Island, but sadly we will be living alone for the duration of our adventure here. Now, it can be a really lonely place, and these cracks do start to show only after a few weeks into this little journey. As we sit down for dinner and look up and see that we've drew a face on a plank of wood. It's very Ed, Ed and Eddie if you remember, but it is quite strange at how fast things start to go downhill for Rachel. I know I personally couldn't do it. The thought of having no interaction for so long, I think no matter what time I come back I would be a different person from all those months away from people. The only company we get from time to time is the doctor who gave us the job, Dr. Muller, and our girlfriend slash wife, Dorothy, who is waiting for us to come home after this mission has been completed. Now, when I said we were alone earlier, not quite true, as we have Little Man to help us with our day-to-day chores in testing the DDT. Little Man lives within these panels and allows us to travel through the pipes on the island. Think of Little Man as our assistant. Say hello to Little Man, everyone.
Hello. Hello. It's me.
Things start to take a twist when we discover that the effects of DDT aren't like what we've been told, and it turns out that it is potentially dangerous to other animals in the food chain, and maybe, just maybe, it's dangerous to humans as well. But it's down to us to find out the facts and try to get to the bottom of everything. The game is on the shorter side, which I appreciated. It took me around an hour 20 to complete, and that was with looking around and exploring the little environment that I had, as you can't really go and look too far. But any longer and it might have taken away from the immersive gameplay and the fantastic story. Speaking of gameplay, let's dig into what you do within the game. The Forest Cathedral is split into two sections. The first, which is exploring the Science Island in a first-person perspective and getting to see everything the island has to offer. Sadly, we don't get to explore too much. It would have been awesome if it was more open world so you could really see all of the island, but it makes sense as to why the game isn't like this. It's based on a book and it's a very linear story. The way to figure out where you're going is that the game path is highlighted for you using this device called the iRGB that scans the area in front of you. Think of it as like the nav system in Dead Space, but in a screen instead. The Forest Cathedral says it's a thriller in all of its descriptions, and that did put me a little on edge at first because I don't do well with horror or thriller games or movies or stories or anything. But it actually isn't too bad. The thriller aspects you do see are more like, did I really just see that kind of moments, where you can't tell if it's your brain playing tricks on you. The first time this happened, I literally saw something in the corner of my eye for a split second, and it had me a little paranoid for a few minutes thinking, is more gonna happen? That's the kind of thriller aspects it is. It really plays with your brain instead of just throwing jump scare in your face. It's more, what did I just see? Am I seeing things? This is a little strange. The other part of the game is where Little Man comes into play, as the game becomes a 2D platformer and you'll have to navigate through these areas of the map. You'll need to jump, dash and slash through difficult areas of platforming and enemies that become more and more of an issue as the game goes on. The normal objective of these 2D platforming areas is that you need Little Man to get from one side of the pipes to the other that he travels through. Now, this could either be to allow you to get something or to turn the power on to allow you as Rachel to get to where you need to go in the next area. Little Man doesn't talk, sadly, but the interactions between him and Rachel are adorable. She'll ask him if he's okay and kind of have a little conversation with him, or instead of just using him, she'll actually ask if he can help out. It's like they're friends, but in a one-sided conversation way. It's time to look into the graphics, and whilst the graphics for the 3D exploration side of the game aren't bad, they sadly aren't amazing either. You won't put this game down and look back at how beautiful it is, and that makes sense. That isn't what the game wants you to do. It wants you to put the game down and think how beautiful the story was instead. They really go in on the story over anything graphics wise. But on the other hand, I think the 2D platformer sections looked fantastic. They really were awesome. Whenever you moved within the screen as Little Man, the overworld would move with you. It kind of just all clicked and made it feel a lot more immersive. Plus, look how cute Little Man is. He doesn't have any emotions, but I just think the way that they've made him, I would love a Little Man. I want a little screen with him just in it on a little desk so I can just have Little Man there with me. So yeah, Whitefawn Games, if that's possible, I'd like a Little Man. Yeah, just email it over. Thank you. The Forest Cathedral really opened my eyes to an issue that I never knew existed with DDT, and it got me actually looking into the story of Silent Spring. And I think if a game makes you do that and stop your day-to-day life to think back at a message that it had for you, then it's a brilliant game in my eyes. There isn't many games where I've just stopped for a moment and thought, wow, that actually happened. This game is a gem, and considering that you complete it in under a few hours, why not give it a go? If you literally have a few hours of free time, it is perfect for you just to pick up, experience a great story, and see it all for yourself as Rachel Carson. That's all for me today. I hope you all enjoyed watching, and I'll catch you all next time. Bye!